So pardon the mess here. I had a whole bunch of crap out that I was working on, and rather than put it all away, I went and made food. So sorry for the sorry for the little bit of a mess here. International shipping stuff. Burners. I got burner controllers that I made. I got lots of stuff here. But what I'll do is got the fire booty right here. This is the fan I was telling you guys about. So give me a second. You gotta let me know if you can hear me, because I don't have any other way of hearing. So let me know. So this is my burner table. Sorry for the little bit of a mess we got going on here, but we do, and it's just the way it is at the moment. And we're gonna have to work with it the way it is. So this is the fan I was telling you about. This is the one we put together on the last stream that I did, I think. But it's the Xfly housing, but it is the FMS Predator 2100 kV motor. Oops, 2100 kV motor, and the FMS rotor spinner. But the benefit to this is that it is in this Xfly housing, which is significantly further back, which cleans up the airflow going in. You can tell that it's better because it runs a lot quieter, even than the FMS fan that it came out of. Super quiet. That tells you that there's less turbulence and it's more direct airflow getting in there. So pretty dang good. So I'm going to do two things. So number one, this is another part of it. Since I went through and made sure that all those screws were tight in there. See, this is actually made for a 36 millimeter motor, but this is a 32. Proven setup, proven motor, so I know it's going to work. But it is tight in there. There's no movement, no play. What I normally do is I'll do something to eat up the extra space in there. You can do 3D printed, or what I've been doing, it's pretty easy. You just put electrical tape, but I didn't bother because this is the way they come now. That's just the regular 2100 kV comes like this, and it works great. And after having it in there tightened the proper way, I'm not worried about it. And then I was able to balance this and do it in such a way that didn't require any weight. So all I had to do was move the spinner around. I found the right spot, and then I moved it a little off to each side to get it perfect. And when I moved it over that little bit this way, it was perfect. So let me check the chat and see what y'all saying. Barry Campbell, what's up? Fred Barron, what is happening? So yeah, let me check up on the chat here. Sorry, you'll see the tablet show up on the screen, but this is what I have to use. Yeah, the problem is with this stupid, with this platform, these people end up pulling up these, anytime you use a streaming software, whether it's OBS or StreamYard, these things are connected to it, and they always pull things in like that. So that's just the way it is. There's no way around it. Anyway, so there's my tablet. Sorry, but that's how I'm checking my chat. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is, got the fiery booty here. This is the 32 millimeter. This is one that I wasn't going to sell to a customer just because of a little bit of an imperfection. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just use it for myself. Because normally it's not like this. This is one that was slightly bad. I had to go through the Dremel and clear it off. So I'm like, you know what? This will be one that I use for my stuff. So let me go ahead and do that right now. So what you do, I always make sure that there's enough room for all the wires to go through. There's a couple different types. You know, they're all different for all of the different style fans and motors, but I make it so that it's a good fit. This one, normally when I sell it with a zip tie, and the zip tie is merely to get this thing into position to make it straight, so that when you glue it, it will be where you want. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but as I'm doing it, I use these as a reference point, and I want it to be perfectly straight. I don't want it crooked. Even like that, so it's pointing straight out and not off to the side. All right, so normally you'd use a zip tie, but I'm not going to do it because I don't need it. Just going to use a dab of glue to start. Put it in place just so it locks it down. This is basically like a tack weld. Tack it down. And the other side, make sure it's still straight. Yes, it is. Go to the other side. Another little tack. And then I keep paper towels handy so that I can wipe off the excess. Now those are just tacks, just to get it in place, make sure it's right. As you can see, use that as reference. That's perfectly straight. All right, so now that I know it's right, this is not an absolutely necessary part, but I do this just because I like for there to be a clean, I don't want it to be a sharp edge. I want it to be like a little bit of a lip. So instead of it just being a sharp edge, it's like a little bit of a smooth transition instead of it just being a sharp edge. So I do it in steps. I don't do it all at the same time. And again, this is a little off just because of the way it was made. So I'm not using that as a reference. I'm using the actual way that it looks. And it's perfect that way. This way it's going to look off because it was a little bit off. This is an imperfect print, so I'm not going to sell that to a customer. I'm going to use that for my stuff. So I got one half done. As you can see, there's a little bit of there's no just flat ridge, it's a smooth transition. Now with this fan, since this housing is for a larger motor, if you notice, this is actually further out than what that is. So it's going to be smooth air going all the way back. Out of all the burners out there, mine is one of the most aerodynamic. Actually, it is the most aerodynamic. Not one of the, it is the most aerodynamic. You don't get any thrust reduction by using mine. Others can't say that because of the way they're made. But mine is made in a way that prevents it from causing any thrust reduction. One of the biggest things is this part, because that is smooth here, and it's also, and don't get any pervy things, but it's set in a way, anytime you have a flat piece at the back, so if it's just a flat motor like that, or if there's a flat spot, there's going to be turbulence. If you get spots like this, where it goes like that, it's going, instead of the air getting here and falling off a cliff, the air actually goes around and goes that way and straight out. So like that, straight out. So there won't be a flat spot with swirly air right here. Swirly air makes that cool whoosh sound, but the cool whoosh sound is not something you want, because that means that there's drag or uh, some form of um, turbulence in the system, which is not good. So, done. If I would have been paying more attention, I would have actually put this more closer to the wires. But hey, whatever. We're going to make it work the way we got it. So, this is done. And as you can see, I'm going to try to line it up with the camera here. It's dead straight, dead on. So, it's going to look perfectly straight down the center of the plane, and you are not going to have to worry about it. So I'm going to have to switch camera positions, so the camera is going to go off, but I'm going to still be talking so you can still hear me. So I've got to get this part set up. So get this moved over. I'm going to get the camera set up on the airplane here. Let's see if it's on. You might see a box and some other stuff in the background, but so be it. So there it is. It's my cat's bed. She's taken over our chair. But this is what I'm going to do. So the other, basically the fan that I pulled apart was the old MiG fan. So I don't even know what this one's doing yet. So we're going to figure that out here on the stream. All y'all here. So let me get the screwdriver. Open this thing up. So you guys can see the old fan. I actually pulled all this stuff apart at the field. So some of the screws fell down in there, which means I'm going to have to get in there, pull them out. But so yeah, two of the screws, that is one right there, fell into this. So the problem is there's this area right over in there. The screws always gravitate towards that. So let's get back onto this side, pull that one out. So two of those screws found their way down in there, and I'm going to have to pull them out. So as you can see, this thing's all mutilated and messed up because this motor burned up. So it's pretty bad. I'll have to get those things out. So the Xfly motors are not the most efficient for when you're going to be blasting around full throttle. It's exactly what I was doing. It's exactly why everything's burned up in there, because I went full throttle for a long time, did not like it, burned it up. So we're going to unplug that. There's, is it tied in? No, it's not. Okay, so we're gonna get that out. Pull the cord out. Again, this was the original Sirius setup. So now the cool thing is, that's one thing I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get a Dremel, and there's a flat spot right here. I'm gonna have to flatten it on the new one. Let's see here. Same spot. Flatten it on the bottom. So that's the new. So you can see the difference. That's the Xfly, and this is the Xfly with FMS on this side. So we're gonna have to Dremel that down too. We will do that in a minute. So the main thing I'll be able to show you is how I do I'll get the go get 'em wire, pull all that through. So let's see here. Red. I have to figure out a way to do this quickly. pull this one side off. I always put electrical tape to insulate. It's not absolutely necessary, but anytime you're on 6S and you're pulling over 60 to 70 amps, it's smart to do it, because sometimes you can get arcing and it will melt your connectors if that does happen. So with that, just to make sure that I get the direction correct, I'm going to do one wire at a time, just so I don't have to figure out which is which. So this one's red. FMS and Xfly motors are the same, the way they work. So put that back. This one. This one off. And again, I can't look at the chat right now, guys. I don't have my tablet over here, but I'll get back to it in a minute. Come on. That off. So this is the yellow wire. Put the yellow there. This is just to make sure that I don't mess up the direction. I'm still going to check, but like I said, Xfly and FMS motors are the same polarity, so they work the same. But this just shows you how that stuff actually works. If you know, it'll, even if they pull apart, it still makes sure that they're being insulated. So I'm gonna pull. No, see, I still can't pull it off. So that's good. That's a good sign. So it shows you that it's actually working. You'd rather start to pull off, but not pull all the way off, rather than pull off and end up arcing, causing your ESC to burn out, other stuff. I'm going to cut this one off, just to be safe. Get it out of there. So, out with the old. Back in with the new, and I'll get another piece of electrical tape and save that wire. Because I can use it for something else down the road. But, so let's get that one last piece. That connected. Cool thing is the free wing actually comes, I think they might be shrink wrapped in place now when you buy the PNP. So anyway, that's back together. So now another thing I have to do is get this in there right. We're going to have to run that wire. And then we're going to have to Dremel that one little bit. So this is another trick that you can use. This is actually used for making wreaths. My wife is into crafts and other stuff, so I was able to. She used this for crafting. So rather than use a go-get-'em wire, I take this thing to me with my kit, and I can use what I need and throw other stuff away without having to be. The go-get-'em wires are stiff and they don't move. They only move one way, so it's better to have this stuff so you can just use it that one time and be done. So that is in place. I'm going to stick it all the way through. Usually go back through the rear. So, go back there. There's a small channel in there that you can go through to get to the radio compartment. And if you do this, the smarter thing to do is to put a little bend on the front of this wire, because that keeps it from getting stuck or poking yourself. So, okay, so that's in place. So now that the wire is in there, I'm going to pull the wire through up until about here. Get the burner wire. Here. Now make sure that this end is facing back, so that when you pull, it's not going to poke anything else and get stuck. So pull that through. Make sure it's going where you want it to. It doesn't drag and pull anything else with it. So I pointed it down. Sometimes make sure it's going the right way. Don't force it, because it should pull freely. If it ends up grabbing on something, don't force it. Just look in there and see if there's a way for you to get rid of the obstruction or something along those lines. It's already through. So the good thing about this stuff is you can just ball it up and get rid of it, or if you want to save it, ball it up and use it again. I have a huge thing of it. That roll cost $2.99, and it lasts for about a year, if not more. A year of like doing an install like every other day. The last one that I had lasted how long? How much is this? I'm going to say it's 150 feet worth of this stuff. So that's going to last you years. And it was only like $2.99 or $3.99. So that stuff is good for any RC wires or servo leads or anything along those lines. So definitely worth getting from Michael's. So I got that through. So now let's get the other fan. Let's figure out where to grind it down. So it's about right here. Need to do that grinding. Okay, we can do that. So it's right at the that one part, so that it won't totally chop into the ESC. But the way that it's set up right now, this is right there on the tip of the ESC. So it's just better to grind it down. So I'm going to turn the mic off for this because I'm grinding. But be right back. All right, so I've got that part done. Flatten the spot it needs to be. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna leave the mic on this time, but I'll go down a little bit more. Let's get that off of there. Only thing I dislike about plastic is that it always sticks to these things. All right, that's good. So got that. So now we are going to flip ESC was over. Just the other way. Because this is the side of the. Is this the side of the heatsink? That's the side of the heatsink. So pull that through. Through like that. I'm actually going to pull the burner wire through a little bit more. Pull that. Okay. That there. So the ESC is going to have to go in and down. There we go. Like that. There we go. Okay, now I got to get those screws out because there's 2 screws in there that I don't want in there. I'm going to have to jangling and get on out of there. Sorry if my big head's in the way. But gotta get those screws out. So I have to shake this to get it. So this, I have to get it to go with the lip. Which is right there. That. Okay, so that works perfect. Open, clean off the extra plastic. Make sure that the wire is going to stay in there. Like that. So we're going to have to, there we go, perfect. So that wire's underneath. Pull through, get to where the lip is. It's supposed to go in, the lip is right there. There we go, that's it. Okay, so let's make sure the wires, you can't see me doing this, but I have the, have to go into the exhaust side with the screwdriver and make sure that the wires are going down into the channel and not getting in the way. There. Maybe the ESC does need to go the other way. Put it this way. There we go. There we go. Pull that in. There we go. Right there. Gotta get those wires up. So the little piece of wood that holds the C down is getting stuck. So I've got to raise that up first so that I can get the ESC underneath it. Technically I should pull the thing out, but it's a pain in the ass to get back in. If you do pull it out, so I'm trying to do it with it in there, which is actually becoming even more work. So see if I can get the ESC under. If not, screw it. Take it out. There we go. Just need a little bit of movement. There you go. Okay. Well, that's there. That there. Have to push the burner back in. Pull it through again. Just a little bit. Okay. Pull that ESC. Go forward. There we go. There, that needs to go there. There we go. ESC needs to come forward a little bit more. Yep. That has to go forward. There we go. Yeah. All right, so I've got to get that. Gun those wires forward just a little bit more. Pull that forward. All the way forward. There we go. It's better. There, now it's flush. Okay, good. Now we're good. So now get back there and make sure that wire is in there. Wire is over. I'll put a zip tie on that after. We'll just move it over. Yeah, there we go. There, okay. So, now that's there, that's there. Okay, so now that's in place. So let me get those two motor screws. Oh, they stick to this dang screwdriver. Don't fall in there like the other two have. Yeah, it's not magnetized enough. So I have to find a magnet to make this work a little better. Get a magnet, put a magnet on the end of my screwdriver, which is making it all work a little bit better. So normally I use a small one, but I had to use a big one because that's all I can find at the moment. One there. Get the other screw over here. Let's get that screw. Ah, well, so much for that. So now I'm going to have to actually pull this thing out and glue that down because it came out wonderfully. So I've got to put some CA in that spot. You know, nothing ever goes as it's planned, right? So wood I had to shave down in order to get it to fit. So I'm going to put some glue in there. I've got my glue handy. So let's raise that up a little bit. Oh, see, it's broken. Even better. So here, I'll glue it back. Same as it was. Hold it in place, and then I will spray accelerator. I have to drill a new hole. I'll drill a new hole. I don't care. But gotta get that thing back in. Good thing it came loose now, because it would suck if it came loose when I was flying. So that's back in place. Let's put some glue there. That hole, I'll start the whole thing over. Really? Stupid. There. There we go. It's in place. Everything, move it again. All right. So I'm probably going to have to drill a new hole. I'll use my pin vise for that. And I'll have to put that through. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I might have to drill a new hole. If not, I'll just there we go. That works. Let's actually pour as much as I can. There we go. We're good. Make sure those wires are out of the way, which they are not. So I have to move that wire there, that wire there. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put one of the screws in the back from the back. But I'm not going to put it all the way tight just yet, because I want to make sure that it is positioned right and not pinching. So, where's my other screw go? The hell is my damn screw? I know I had it. Where'd I put it? There it is, fell on the floor. Okay. So put the other screw back up in there. Screws tight. Screws tight. All right. So I'm probably gonna have to use a pin vise for one of those, but I gotta find those other screws. There's two that fell in here that I need to find. See if I can get them with the magnet. There's one. There's one screw. All right. Okay, so there's one screw out. Put that one in, and then I have to find one more. Can't remember if it's on this side or on this side. So let's see where it is. See if I can shake it this around. I hear it. Let's see it. I can't remember if it's still in there. got it out. Maybe I got that one out. Wait, and not the other. So let me get the. So this is the controller I've got here. I'm going to take the controller. I'm actually going to take this controller out. This one's got a switch on it, and I don't want no switch. So I'm going to pull that. I'm going to put in one of the new ones. Oh, because you don't work tomorrow, right? Okay. Wait, that's that one. And it's got a switch too, so we're gonna have to deal with the switch and we'll switch stuff later. But I do want a different controller, so I'm gonna use a different controller. What are you eating, Izzy? What are you eating? What is it? So anyway, let's get this thing off. I'm actually gonna get rid of this connection right now because it's easy to do. Sorry I'm off camera, but I'm on camera at the moment. I'm making a quick connection and a quick solder. I'm gonna be done. So anyway, I'll check the chat here too. Let me check the chat while I'm letting the soldering iron heat up. So this person keeps coming back with all this. What time is it now? Anyway, those things are all going to go away. Sorry for all the crap showing up in chat, guys, but I'm going to get this. So let me show you. I get rid of the switch on the controllers, and I'm soldering that connection so that it will be get rid of the gets rid of all that switch hanging around in there. So I'm going to do that right now. It's off camera, but that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to run that thing up, see how it works. So I'm checking the chat too, guys, other than dealing with all this extra porn crap that's showing up. Shrink wrap. See you later. All right, so the switch has been removed. I'll get this thing back in there. Plug that into here. put this into aux 1. And it's done. Okay. So I'm going to put the canopy back on because I need to shake this thing around and get out what's in there. So, I need to check back and see if anybody was actually saying anything in the chat other than this porn crap. God, how many times did that thing show up? What the hell? Okay, so let me finish this up. I'm almost done. Almost done. But I got to figure out if I left one of those screws in there. Because there was a screw that I thought got lodged in there, but I think I took it out and left it. So, put this back here. And then I have another one of those screws. Gonna have to drill a hole for it. But what I'm gonna need to do first is put these in to hold that ESC in place. Even though the fan is pretty much already doing that. Keeping it from moving. I can't move it. It's not moving, that's good. So the wire is there, that's good. Everything's in, so I just have one more screw that I need to put in there, and I will right now. There it is. So I'm off camera again, but I have that screw that I needed in one of my miscellaneous parts drawers for my goofy little, used to be my plane holder. Let's see if this screw will go in there. Let's hold it that way. Self-tapping. There we go. Well, it doesn't look like it's totally in. I'll have to use some glue. Anyway, for now, that's going to work. Everything else is tight. I'm going to have to redo this. And I will have to redo that as well. But let's run it up really quick if I have. Actually, I'm not even going to run it up, but it's done. So that's it. I'll finish the rest of this later. That's the majority of what needed to be done. Everything is done in here. I ran the cord. All that's done. So let's get out of here, and I'll get back to the computer.